Alright, so here's your introduction to TinkerCAD. Once you're logged in and you've created a shape, you should get this user interface. And so what this looks like is you have a workspace, you have a bunch of shapes, you have a bunch of icons here. The biggest thing when you are doing computer-aided design for the first part is just orienting yourself to what the platform does. So go and just drag over a shape. It doesn't matter what it is. We're going to have our cube here, and then just click somewhere else. And then what I want you to do is to use the scroll wheel, scroll in and out. So I'm scrolling on my mouse and going in and out. And then if I right click, so I hold down the right click key, I'm going to rotate around. And then if I click down the mouse wheel, I will go back and forth. This is being able to pan. So when you're doing CAD, using a mouse is a really fast and simple way to be able to navigate. You do have some options that will zoom. This will go back to a home view. You can zoom in and zoom out with the buttons, but in general, you'll be wanting to use your mouse or your trackpad to help you navigate through. So just get comfortable navigating. No matter where you get, if you get totally turned around, you can always hit the home icon to get back to a start. The next thing is your settings. So you want to click on settings. You need to figure out what you're working in. So I have it in imperial, which is inches. And then my scale is 1:1, which is fine. This time, if I was making something that was bigger or smaller, I can set the default work plane. So that is what this space looks like here. So this would be 10 inches by 10 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm going to set this to be 1/8 of an inch. That's what each of those would be 8 in there. I could change this to be a 1/2 inch, and it would update where it's snapping to in terms of where it goes across. So you want to be kind of have the same setup every time so that you are comfortable with what it looks like. All right, so that's just kind of the navigation piece. What we're going to do is we're going to just make an object and kind of resize it. So a couple options to resize. You can grab these white boxes and you can move it around. That's fine. But what you're probably going to want to do pretty quickly is start to click on those dimensions and then put in a size. So let's make this 5 long. I'm going to hit enter. And then I'm going to, if I've lost it, I can click on the corner again. I'm going to make it 2 wide, and I'm going to click on this one up here, and I'm going to make it 0.5 tall. Alright, so I have one shape in there, and what I want to do next is I want to bring in another shape, and I want to put it on top of this one. And so there's a couple of options. I can just drag something across, and I can try to move it around. So I'm going to make this a different color. I'm going to make this green. And the size doesn't matter. I can pull this up until it looks like it's there. As I'm rotating around, it looks like it's a little bit of a miss. I'm going to pull it over, and I'm going to try to line it up on top of it. But it's hard to tell if I've really gotten it. You can see if I zoom in, I actually look like I've missed it. So one thing I can do is I can click on the front. So if I click on front, and I pin, now you can see actually there is a gap there. So if I want to put something on top of something else, a better option is to build what's called a works plane. So if I have my shape here, I'm going to click home to get back to a good view. I'm going to click on this work plane piece here. And then when I click on top of this, now anything that I drag across will treat that as the ground. So if I make this green, there we go. Now what I can see is that's actually on top of it. So let me try to align these two together. So I click them both, and now I have this alignment tool that shows up. I click on that. I get these arrows that pop up, so that will align that centerpiece. If I click again, let's say I'm clicking back there, that aligns the middle there. And so what I should have, if I was to move things around, see that I can move it down. I don't want to do that. I should have something that is set now in the middle of that piece. So I have something there that I've put in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a, if I want to get out of that, I'm going to click somewhere and then hit the work plane. Oops, sorry. Click somewhere else and I hit W to get back to it. So we're at my default work plane now. What I want to do next is I want to put a hole in this. So I'm going to click the hole object. I'm going to bring it over and I'm just going to bring it down. And that hasn't made a hole yet. What I need to do is I select both of those and I'm going to click this group icon. Once I do that, I've actually now put a hole into my object. But let's say I wanted that to actually be in a certain location. So I'm going to undo what I just did, and I'm going to delete that, or I'm going to leave it there. What I want to do is I want to bring over a ruler. So I'm going to click on a ruler, and I'm going to click on that corner. And what I'll see is if I click on top again, we can see that I've missed that piece. It's not actually on the top. So I'm going to click the X to get rid of that. And I want to click on this. I want to click on a work plane here. So work plane there. And then I'm going to click on a ruler here in that top corner. And now my ruler is up where I want. All right. So now as I start to drag this around, you can see I have dimensions there. So let's say I want it to be 0.5 there. And then in this direction, as I start to move it, let's say I want that to be 0.5 as well. Let's just see if we can change. If I change this to a 1, see how it shifts it? I'm going to click back here, make it a 0.5. And then that's great. So that's where I want that to be. So now, when I select these two, let me dismiss the ruler, select those two and hit group, now I've actually put a hole in it. And let's say that I'm done with that piece. I don't want it to move. I can lock that piece. And once I've locked it, that one won't move. This one will still move all over the place. So I still have options to move that one around because it's not locked. Once I hit the lock button, that one is done. So once I've got my shapes assembled and finished, I have the ability to lock it all. So I could click this and I could click lock. One thing to note is, let me unlock it. If you hit group here, it's going to change all of those pieces. So now this is just one big group that I can move around and go from there. So you'll get used to this as you continue to use it. It really the navigation and then playing around with the features. So bringing things across, dimensioning them, putting them in the right spots in terms of alignment, and then finally the ruler to be able to put them where you want them to be.